Reincarnation anime never gets old, and today we're counting down 10 shows that trap you in fantasy chaos, emotional damage, weird concepts, and addictive storytelling, from wholesome farming to absolute psychological insanity that hits hard. Kicking off with number 10, Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation, Season 2. Season 2 of Mushoku Tensei doesn't just continue the story, it drags you through Rudis's emotional baggage like unpaid rent. This arc slows things down, and yeah, some fans complained, but that's because character growth isn't always flashy magic explosions. Rudius dealing with trauma, guilt and identity feels painfully human, which is wild considering half the cast can nuke cities. The world building still clears most isekai effortlessly, the animation flexes when it matters, and the writing refuses to baby the audience. You'll laugh, you'll cringe, and sometimes you'll want to yell at Rudius through your screen like an older sibling who's tired. The villains aren't just evil for vibes, and the quiet moments hit harder than boss fights. This season proves Mushoku Tensei isn't just about reincarnation power fantasies, it's about consequences. And honestly, that's why it stays rent-free in anime discussions, whether people love it or argue about it daily. This is Emiverse Anime. Watch this video to the end and hit that subscribe button now. Sliding to number 9, The Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess and the Genius Young Lady. This anime walks in politely, then casually flips the entire fantasy monarchy on its head. Anis is the kind of reincarnated protagonist who said, "Magic system? Cool, I'll rebuild it myself." The chemistry between her and Euphilia carries this show hard, mixing romance, rebellion, and emotional damage with surprising elegance. It looks cute, sounds wholesome, then suddenly punches you with political drama and identity struggles. The villains aren't moustache-twirling cartoons, they're systems, traditions, and expectations, which somehow hurts more. The pacing stays clean, the magic science angle is genuinely fun, and the emotional payoffs feel earned. Plus, watching nobles panic because a girl with goggles refuses to follow rules is endlessly satisfying. It's reincarnation without the usual power-flexing ego trip. Instead, it's about choice, freedom, and building a future that doesn't suck. Low-key, one of the smartest fantasy reincarnation stories in recent years. Landing on number 8, Isekai non Biri Nuka, Farming Life in Another World. This show is proof that sometimes all you need is peace, crops, and 0 demon kings screaming every 5 minutes. Dude reincarnates, gets god-tier farming tools, and chooses relaxation over violence. Honestly, respect. The vibes are immaculate, the pacing is cozy, and watching a fantasy village grow feels weirdly addictive. It's like Stardew Valley with elves, dragons, and questionable population growth. There's no fake tension, no edgy twists, just wholesome world-building and slice-of-life comfort. Some people call it boring, but those people probably can't sit still without explosions. The humor sneaks up on you, the character interactions feel warm, and the world slowly expands without rushing. It's the perfect cool-down anime after something emotionally destructive. Not every reincarnation story needs trauma and war. Sometimes reincarnating just means finally touching grass. Magical grass. With waifus. Looking at number 7, The Reincarnation of the Strongest Exorcist in Another World. This anime said, what if overpowered, but strategic? Our MC isn't just strong, he's experienced, calculating, and 10 steps ahead of everyone playing checkers. Watching him dismantle threats with preparation instead of raw screaming power is insanely satisfying. The magic system blends Eastern exorcism with fantasy tropes, which already gives it bonus points. The villains keep underestimating him, and every time they do, it's a speedrun to Regret City. The pacing is solid, the fights are clever, and the story respects the protagonist's intelligence. No random power-ups needed when knowledge itself is broken. It's not reinventing Isekai, but it polishes familiar ideas really well. If you like smart protagonists who don't monologue their plans like villains, this one hits. Plus, seeing arrogant nobles get humbled never gets old. Ever. Moving to number 6, Chronicles of an Aristocrat Reborn in Another World. This anime leans fully into political power fantasy, and honestly, it's kind of addicting. The MC reincarnates as nobility with cheat abilities, and immediately starts speedrunning influence, alliances, and economic domination. It's less about fights and more about maneuvering systems, which feels refreshing. Watching adults panic because a child outsmarts them is comedy gold. The pacing moves fast, the world opens up nicely, and the supporting cast actually matters. Sure, it's wish fulfillment, but it's confident about it. The villains exist to be outplayed, not dragged across 50 episodes. It's the kind of anime where you keep watching because you want to see how badly the next obstacle gets dismantled. Not deep, not subtle, but extremely watchable. Sometimes you just want competence corn, and this delivers without apology. Halfway at number 5, I got a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world too. This show said, why choose one world when you can dominate two? The glow-up is ridiculous. The power scaling is broken, and yes, it's pure fantasy fulfillment. But it knows exactly what it is. Watching a bullied kid turn into a walking legend across worlds scratches that guilty pleasure itch hard. The real-world segments feel like wish fulfillment DLC, while the fantasy side delivers classic Isekai chaos. Are the villains subtle? Absolutely not. Are the wins satisfying? Every single time. It's not trying to be deep, it's trying to be fun, and that confidence carries it. The animation pops when needed, the pacing stays breezy, and the escapism hits perfectly after a long day. This is the anime equivalent of junk food, and sometimes junk food slaps harder than gourmet meals. Crashing into number 4, reborn as a vending machine, I now wander the dungeon. This should not work. At all. And yet, here we are. A vending machine protagonist sounds like a meme, but the execution is shockingly charming. The limitations create creativity, the humor lands, and the supporting cast carries emotional weight you wouldn't expect. Watching characters risk their lives for a talking vending machine is hilarious and weirdly wholesome. The dungeon mechanics stay engaging, and the world takes the concept seriously without killing the joke. It's absurd, self-aware, and genuinely fun. Instead of forcing drama, it leans into clever problem-solving and heart. This anime proves that reincarnation ideas don't need to be edgy to be entertaining. Sometimes embracing the ridiculous is the smartest move. You'll start watching ironically, then suddenly care. And that's dangerous. Charging to number 3. Oshi no Ko. Yeah, this isn't your typical reincarnation anime, and that's exactly why it hits so hard. Reincarnation here isn't about power, it's about obsession, trauma, and the darkest corners of the entertainment industry. The first episode alone emotionally drop-kicks you without warning. Every arc peels back another ugly truth behind fame, idols, and clout culture. The writing is sharp, uncomfortable, and painfully real. Characters feel human in the worst ways possible. This anime doesn't want you comfortable, it wants you thinking. And just when you think you understand it, the story swerves again. But trust me, number 3? It'll mess with your head in the best way possible. Rushing to number 2, Sweet Reincarnation. This anime takes food anime and fuses it with kingdom-building reincarnation. Our MC isn't chasing violence, he's chasing dessert perfection, and somehow that becomes a political weapon. Watching pastries influence diplomacy is way more entertaining than it should be. The tone stays light, the world feels lived in, and the conflicts stay refreshingly grounded. Instead of constant combat, we get economics, innovation, and strategy flavored with sugar. It's charming without being childish and smart without being heavy. The pacing keeps things moving, and the concept never overstays its welcome. If you're tired of edgy reincarnations, this one feels like a breath of fresh air. Plus, you'll be hungry the entire time. Consider yourself warned. Finally, number 1, Dead Mount Death Play. This anime flips reincarnation on its head and laughs while doing it. A dark fantasy necromancer reincarnated into modern-day chaos? Sign me up. The tone is unpredictable, the characters are morally questionable, and the plot refuses to stay comfortable. Every episode feels like controlled madness. The power system is fascinating, the stakes keep shifting, and no one feels safe. It blends urban fantasy, crime, and supernatural horror effortlessly. You're never fully sure who's winning, and that tension is addictive. It's bold, weird, and unapologetically different. As a reincarnation story, it breaks rules instead of following them. That's why it stands at number 1. Easily. That's my top 10 reincarnation anime that'll keep you hooked, entertained, and emotionally unstable in the best way. Drop your favorites in the comments, argue respectfully, hit the like button if this slapped, and subscribe for more anime chaos, lists, and unfiltered fan energy every single week.